looks like an old school clock.
It's 11, I'm sorry, it's 10:59.
Yes, but it's more paperwork. Okay. We'll call to order the meeting of the Board of Selectmen for Thursday, August 17th, 2023. Please join me in the pledge.
Allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. And I have had a request for a non-public right away, so you would read us into non-public?
We will go into non-public on New Hampshire RSA 91-A:32A. What is it?
A.
A.
Yes, please.
I will second. All those in favor, roll call vote, please.
Commissioner McGee,
Aye.
Commissioner McCarthy.
Aye.
Thank you.
11 o'clock. 11:34.
Whoops, what did you do? Oh, you threw your phone away?
Which I keep meaning to get a case for, and I haven't done it yet. Hopefully I will before I break it.
Is there a motion to come out of
I'll make a motion to come out of non-public at 11:35 and seal the minutes.
I'll second. All those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Okay, we're going to leave off here. Hey, public comment. 2 minutes, Brett. 3 minutes, Brett.
3 minutes.
I'm always 3 minutes. Plus, yes, on August 5th meeting, Matt Plass zoomed in, said he resigned a few days ago, the 31st of July. Has he turned his phone in, and has it been preserved?
That, I don't know. Last time I knew he had not. He didn't know where it is. Is that still true?
That's correct.
So we're still hunting for that.
So we're missing a county computer.
No, phone.
Well, phone, computer.
His computer is, no, we have that, but not his
Yeah.
phone.
Okay, is there any way of trying to locate this? I would assume a phone could be pinged from the cell company.
If it's on,
If it's on, yeah. So
should be able to.
I think Melissa and Matthew have been working on that, trying to find it, yeah.
Okay,
We
well,
can get through computer emails, but not calls.
yeah, okay,
without
well,
his phone.
well, that would be good. Of course, I'm still concerned about the staffing and the agency staff there. I really feel that we need to do something. Have you talked to the HR director about 2 years and waiting for a wage study?
Wage study, she promised it, we will have it on the last Thursday of August.
Last Thursday of August. And
Yep.
then will you?
Make sure you're here for that meeting.
I have one doctor's appointment on one of the meetings. Hopefully you'll change that date. That's the only one, but I'll be here. But that would be good to do. And I also want to state, as I have in the past, integrity matters, and I really think we need some integrity on some of these matters that are in front of us. Thank you very much.
Any other public comment? Seeing none? Okay. Do we have any media questions? Seeing none? Okay. Approval of minutes for August 10th.
I'll make a motion to approve the meeting minutes of August 10th as written.
I will second. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
And Melissa, do you have the updated, oh, sorry, right there.
If you look on the last page of
Yep.
the manifest.
Yep.
Sorry. There we go. That colored section there.
Okay. So accounts payable for August 16th, $480,000, $480,188.78. And the payroll for August 18th, $215,268.58.
Madam Chair, can we have a motion?
I'll make a motion to approve.
Thank you.
I'll I'll second. All those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Okay, Project Bike Tech, come on up. This sounds interesting.
It is.
It is, okay.
Nice to meet you. Nice to meet you. Crystal Sawyer.
What's up, Peggy?
Nice to meet you.
Scott,
Nice to meet you.
great, thank you. And we know you, so.
Hello.
I don't know if you've met Chuck or not.
I don't know. Mike Baker,
I don't think so.
captain at the jail.
So, how, I did, yes. I didn't recognize him out of
Out of uniform.
So thanks for having us today. A little bit about my role. So I am the mobility manager for Carroll and Comeau County. It's a new network. So the state of New Hampshire received a $3 million grant from DHHS and the CDC to address transportation challenges in the rural regions of the state. So there is a mobility manager now in each of the 5 rural regions to work on that. My goal is really to help expand the transportation services that are currently available, which are primarily for seniors and folks with disabilities, but also to work towards developing new sustainable means of transportation. So we all know that in Carroll County, we have to get creative. So one of the projects that I initially started working on, which is now operational, is we started subsidizing vehicle repairs for folks. And we were able to partner with the Mount Washington Valley Chamber of Commerce. So now anyone who is employed or enrolled in school in Carroll County can qualify for this program, and they can actually receive up to $1,000 in free vehicle repairs to meet inspection. I did bring a couple of flyers. Send that one up there. Excuse me. So that's a program that is currently operational in Carroll County, and we're seeing really good results from it. To move on to the next initiative, once that got operational, is I started doing some research on bike co-ops that are spread throughout the state. And I got in touch with Gate City Bike Co-op, which is in the greater Nashua area. And what they do is, through a team of volunteers, they take in used bicycle donations. Their volunteers refurbish those bicycles, and then they donate them back out into the community for free through a voucher system. So I started thinking, how could we do that? How could we get that same concept in Carroll County? I was able to, and the timing was amazing. I found out about Project Bike Tech, which is a nationwide curriculum for students in high school to learn to become master bike technicians. It's operational in 3 schools in the state right now. So the first is Kennett in Conway. There's one in Littleton, New Hampshire, and it's also in Sullivan County, but I can't remember the name of the school off the top of my head. So what Project Bike Tech does is they come in and they set up a classroom through a grant, and then students enroll in the program. The program comes with brand new bicycles that are in pieces, and these students go through the curriculum and they learn to, when they graduate, they end up with a master's bike technician certificate, and that certificate is accepted everywhere the program is operational. So just because they receive their certificate in the state of New Hampshire does not mean that they have to work in the state of New Hampshire. So Virginia Schrader, who runs that program at Kennett High School, I met with her a few times, and we really started to develop a bike co-op where the students could help refurbish the bicycles that we take in as donations, and then we could then turn those back out into the community for free. Again, similar model to Nashua. And it started to gain a lot of momentum in that we had bike clubs that were offering helmets with each bicycle that's donated. We have bike shops, local bike shops that are offering their time and their services to help with this. We have REI, which is considering a financial contribution to the program. So it really started to develop, and it started getting larger than I had anticipated, but it was great. And then Crystal and I connected through her adult education program. We started thinking about how could we expand the program to get more folks involved in receiving that certificate and helping refurbish bicycles to get them back out into the community. That is, and Crystal can talk more about her program, but then Crystal and I started brainstorming and took it one step further and said, how about getting the program into the jail? And having the certificate program inside the local jail so that inmates can learn a trade that is definitely in need of staffing. Inmates can learn a trade, can also help put bicycles back out into the community. And then as an incentive, when that inmate is released, they then have a bicycle to be reintroduced into the community, which would help with one of the transportation solutions that we're faced with on a regular basis. So we had met with Captain Baker and started talking about the program. It would be something to where we could purchase a smaller version of the program through the grant that I hold. And it would really be the coordination of the jail and adult education to really introduce this program and help it spread throughout Carroll County.
So we're here because in the jail, I don't know if you know, but there's not a lot of room.
Yeah.
There's not a lot of room in the jail. So we went to Captain Baker and Lieutenant King and we asked, maybe we can ask the commissioners if we can have the class in the annex building. And I wanted to meet with them to see if logistically that would be okay and safe and what inmates it would be offered to, because there's obviously a certain security.
Yeah.
Exactly. So we're here today to ask if there would be a room, a classroom where the inmates can be brought over and then be able to do the class here in the annex.
And how soon are you looking for that?
We're hoping
next week, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
We have to get an instructor. September, October, we'd like to.
What do you need in the way of a room? You just looking for an empty room?
An empty
Because
room,
you would be bringing in all, so you're taking it
Yeah.
out, or?
It wouldn't be, it would actually stay. So I'm sure their stations would stay. But yes, we're looking for a room that we could use.
Temporarily until
It would have to be a dedicated room.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yep. And we brought Captain Baker here just in case you did have any questions about the safety, security, and what happens when there's transporting and what's going to go on. So we have Captain Baker here to answer any of those questions.
We'd like to hear some of those.
Well, it would just be on the same lines as individuals that go and work on the farm. So very low minimum security inmates that don't necessarily qualify for the trust program because that's for a high recidivism rate. We're looking for inmates, low recidivism rate, that are looking for the step to be able to reintroduce themselves into the community and do something well, right? That don't have a trade, that are stuck in that lull of life, that they could walk away from their incarceration time because they have to be sentenced, they have to be low minimum security and of the honor system to come over, learn a trade, and then go back into the community and use that trade. So we would have the checks and balances. They would have to be sentenced individuals, fully sentenced, nothing pending out in the wind. They would have to meet the minimum security requirements to be able to work outside because they're going to be coming and working and learning a trade. So it would be those same individuals that we would have work on the farm, and then we would get with the volunteer that's teaching with the class, and they would have to come over, pick them up just like the farm workers do. They would have to go through a series of classes to understand the supervision piece that's very important. And we wouldn't be sending over any inmate. It would have to be a very low minimum security, low risk individual that wants to learn something. We're not going to send somebody over here just to send somebody over here to work. They're going to want it, or at least try to learn something for the community.
So my only thing with that, would there be a guard here too? Because you're talking about having how many pupils in there?
We would ultimately not have a correctional officer in the room with the class. We wouldn't do it. We don't have correctional officers with the farm workers that are out working the farm grounds, and that's why I mentioned to Crystal to have it. If it's on county grounds, I can have a CO come over here at any moment to do spot checks, and we talked about doing spot checks and doing those random searches and making sure that everything's on the up and up while they're here with the teacher, but ultimately giving the inmates the ability to come over, get outside of the correctional walls. They would stay in orange, they would stay in their inmate uniforms, we wouldn't put them in civilian clothes. So in the event that they walked away, we would be able to identify that very quickly and have a very quick response from the COs from the jail. I did mention to her an off-site, off-county ground site for this program wouldn't work for us. We would really need it on-site because I could bounce over throughout the day, or the lieutenant could bounce over throughout the day. And we're only talking about a handful of hours for the day for the class portion.
Yeah. So that's what I'm wondering about, how many students per class?
There would probably there's probably 2 or 3 bike sections, maybe 6 to 8 students.
Yeah, so what we're looking to purchase as a smaller version of the program would include 2 of the bike stands. It would come with 2 of the brand new bikes that are completely in pieces to learn as the curriculum goes. And it would come with the parts, the tools, the curriculum for the instructor, and it would also come with the full support of the nationwide curriculum. So when we had talked about it before, I think to operate the program effectively, you probably don't want more than 2 to 3 people on each of the bike stands as you go.
Yeah.
Which I think if we had 4 to 6 folks in the classroom to begin with, I think that's a great way to pilot the program. You know, we don't want to get too big.
Exactly.
No, and I'm just worried about,
Yeah.
and if you only
A
have
lot.
one instructor,
Yeah. Yep.
you know, we have to worry about the security.
Absolutely.
And on our end, we may not have 6 individuals
Right.
that qualify.
Yeah.
And we're looking at, because we have the trust program, so people have to be in the trust program, and we can work out logistics. Do they finish the trust program first, or do they not qualify and we need to find another program that's going to help benefit them? Because obviously we know if you're sitting in a facility not doing anything, you're not learning anything as well. So if we can get those individuals that don't quite get into those other programs or need to get in those other programs that we have, this could be that next program that gets them to better themselves. And that's the hope in everything. And yes, they want 6. I may not have 6. I may only have 2 or 3. I know we have some right now that would qualify off the top of my head. But again, we're talking about minimal to start, because obviously it would be a pilot program. We're not going to bombard a new volunteer with, well, here's a bunch of inmates, good luck. We're definitely not going to do that, but it's working with the individuals, giving them a couple inmates at a time, maybe 1, maybe 2, so they can understand and learn, and we'll be very much on board with it and be present more than we would once the program gets off the ground. We're going to be.
And, I'm assuming since you're here that Sean, your superintendent, is in favor?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay.
And the other great thing about this is we are actually going to run this class for civilians, so that if the inmate is released, they can hop into the civilian class and not skip a beat. So they can actually finish the certification.
But they wouldn't be in instruction together.
No.
So we've talked with
Right.
Crystal,
No.
and we would have
It would not
a
be.
civilian course one day,
Yep.
and then the inmate course another day, so there's really no,
Intermingling, correct.
Commissioner, you have any questions or
Yeah, it
thoughts?
sounds pretty interesting to
Yeah,
me.
it does.
Yeah.
Okay. So you're looking for, like you said, October, September, late
September,
September?
October, yeah.
Okay.
Madam Chair,
Melissa, yes.
Chairman Avalani has a question on
Okay.
the Zoom. I think it pertains to this.
Okay. Representative?
Thank you, Madam Chair, and thank you for taking my questions. I have a couple, if that is okay, Madam Chair.
It is.
One, I didn't hear how this was going to be funded. Is this outside source funding, or are we going to be funding this through the county?
So I can answer that one. So I'm funded through a CDC. It's a COVID disparities grant that is through DHHS and the CDC. So I have project money to work on transportation solutions for Carroll County. So this would actually come out of that bucket, and then we have until May of 2024 to work on the self-sustainability of the program.
Another
So I think
question?
the answer is no, correct?
It will not come out of the county. Correct.
Okay, I think I do have a follow-up. So after 2024, the county would have to pick up the funding for that in order to maintain the program?
So the county wouldn't necessarily have to pick up the funding. What we'll be doing during this year of operation as we kick off the pilot, and like with the other programs, the other initiative, is we're already working towards the sustainability of the program. So it would be, like, for example, I have a couple organizations that are willing to already contribute financially to the bike co-op. Would really like to see this program work with the bike co-op. So that way we'd be looking at the overall sustainability of the project.
Thank you, and thank you for taking the questions. I do have a couple on the jail program, if that's okay, Madam Chair.
It is?
Since the building that they want to use is going to be multi-tenant, how is security going to be maintained if there's inmates in there that are going to could be unsupervised with them mingling with civilians? And for security's sake, without going into detail.
So the rooms, when we talking about and when we lay out a room, we're going to have to talk with the commissioners and find the best case scenario for security wise. Limit the civilian inmate intermingling. The volunteer would be supervising the inmates and not lose sight. And through training with that individual, we're going to make it the best case scenario for training and limit intermingling between civilians. But ultimately, we all know when it comes to rehabilitation of inmates, the more we keep them segregated from the community, the less likely they are to actually benefit and rehabilitate to working towards back to a civilian life culture.
Correct, thank you. And just one more on the trust program. Would that also be part of the new diversion program that the county attorney has rolled out? Are you guys utilizing that as well?
That would be a question I'd have to answer on a later date.
Perfect. Thank you, Madam Chair. Thank you, members of the commission.
Thank you. Okay, I think that we will take this under advisement and see what we can do. And I think it's very interesting, and I think it's a good program. So if there's any way that we can work it out, we'll see what we can do.
Awesome. Thank you so much. I
Thank you.
appreciate your time.
Thanks, guys. Kristen, do you get with Melissa
For the drum class. Yes, yeah, absolutely I will. Thank you so much. Have a great day.
Again, Ms. Joe on, no.
I asked him to come back about 11:30, but I haven't seen him yet.
Okay, I don't think we have anything for Hales. We'll go to the finance report.
The CFO wanted to come over.
Come over.
For both of those things, so I'll
Yep,
call her to come over. There's a line item transfer in your packet.
There is, okay, let's do that while we're waiting for her.
If you wanted to do
Is it
that.
in
I
there?
think it's in your packet, I hope.
Yeah, I believe it is. I believe I saw that.
Step out and call the office.
Oh, I saw it. Maybe I didn't.
Hi, could you ask Bonnie to come over to talk about the financial and audit? They're ready for her now. Thank you. Bye.
Oh, I saw that, but I guess not.
Okay, she'll be right over.
I don't,
I don't see it, but I thought I saw
Thank
it.
you.
Maybe not.
Okay.
I haven't found it yet. Let's see what we got here.
I can give you the signature copy if that's easier.
Yeah, that's fine.
Then you can
Right
have
here.
it.
I
Oh,
got it.
you have it? Okay. And then this
Wait,
is
what was
the-
it in between?
No, I saw it. I don't know.
There's
That's
the
right.
original.
You already
Oh,
have
go
it.
ahead.
Okay, we have line item transfer number 2023-07. It is from 4230.24 legal out of the House of Corrections for $800, going into 4230.070 into travel.
Can you state the amount
And this is
again?
for
You state the amount again?
$800.
Oh, 8.
And his explanation is, okay, when reviewing our travel line number, which was budgeted for $4,500, is currently showing a remaining available balance of $763.96. The current remaining balance in this line leaves a shortfall of approximately $519.61 once we purchase the hotel rooms needed for the upcoming county conference held in October. So at this time, I'm requesting the approval for a line item transfer for the number of 024.000, legal for the sum of $800 to be transferred into the number 070.000, travel. This will then allow us to move forward with booking the hotel rooms as needed.
This all comes out of his budget, right?
Out of his budget, yes.
All right, motion to approve $800 line item transfer from,
Okay, we got it.
got it.
I'll second. All those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Thank you.
This is,
Plus I have the minutes for signature that you approved.
okay.
Thank you.
And we'll give that to you. Okay, that's for you.
Good timing.
Good morning.
You asked me to come over?
Yes, I said good timing.
How'd you get here so quick?
Like you flew over. I mean, your time.
I did fly over.
Thank you. You have copies of the audit and the finances, but did you bring July?
I brought July too.
Okay.
Thank you. Okay. We're happy to have you join us.
Thank you.
Right ahead.
Okay, so we have the 21 audit, yay!
Ed, you're supposed to be jumping up and down.
So the audit is complete and segue into 22. 22 is the field work is done and we're waiting for them to wrap it up. So they have sent me preliminary adjustments, there were a couple. So I expect that 22 will be finished before too long.
Okay.
Okay. No big surprises in 21. We had some findings for some of the internal controls and procedures that were in place in 21. We had some findings on oversight of grant management, just some internal control processes within the nursing home and corrections. We had to put a corrective action plan in place. We've done that. We've written that back to the auditors and they have incorporated that into the audit document. And we've talked to the departments that it impacted and have changed procedures already. So I feel like we're in pretty good shape.
Perfect.
Good.
So we need a vote to accept the 21 audit.
I'll make a motion to accept the 2021 financial audit.
I will second. All those in favor, say aye.
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 Madam Chair,
Yes.
Representative Abalani has a question.
Oh, okay. Yes, sir?
Thank you, Madam Chair. This is for the CFO, if that's okay.
Yes, of course.
There are a couple deficiencies on which areas that we need to look at.
There was One is a grant management oversight. Basically, what happened was there were provider relief funds that were received in 20 and 21 that were reported as reimbursed expenses, but it was something that really wasn't tracked at the nursing home as a reimbursed expense. And when inquired, why the reporting was done that way, there really wasn't sufficient information. So I went back. Another way that you can substantiate the provider relief funds is through lost revenue. So I went back after the fact, did all those calculations, made sure that we had enough in lost revenue to substantiate the use of those funds. So basically, it's a finding that when the reporting was done, it was reported as reimbursement versus lost revenue. That was one. There's a deficiency in tracking some of the inmate and resident funds and sufficient backup in the internal control. There is a deficiency in timely reconciliations and reporting. Now remember, this is in 21. We requested that the auditors more look at the end of the year, but I said they were not able to do that because the audit was for the whole year. So they had to look at all the internal controls and take it as a whole for what was in place for the entire year of 21. And most of the recommendations or comments came back stating that the CFO was put in place at the end of 21 and that these items have been addressed.
Fantastic. Thank you, Madam CFO. Thank you, Madam Chair.
You're welcome. Thank you.
Okay.
Okay.
So you both have copies of the June and the July financial statements. Really no surprises for this time of year. The county is in a deficit, but that's to be expected because the county doesn't receive their funds until December. So it's nothing historically that is crazy. As I mentioned with the June financials and again with the July financials, my greatest alarm is the agency funding. And so I am pulling information from human resources, from the nursing home, looking at organization charts, looking at actual staffing, and trying to figure out why there are such disparities between last year's use of agency funds and this year's use of agency funds. So I don't have any answers in that regards. I'm still pulling all the preliminary information. But we do really need to keep a close eye on that.
Agreed.
Okay. We're approximately where we were last year on the borrowing of the TAN, but I do see that we probably will at the end of the year have ended up borrowing more than what we did last year. So we'll just need to be prepared for that. But I think, we'll be fine and get through the year and have sufficient cash flow. But just to keep an eye on it.
Thank you. Representative Avellini, you have any questions?
No, Madam Chair. Thank you.
Okay.
That's it?
That's
Do you have
it.
any questions of anything?
No.
No?
No, you're just doing a great job. We're so lucky to have you.
Exactly.
Thank you.
No
The
news.
CFO requested a non-public. Would you like to do that now so she doesn't have to come back?
Yes.
Or how would you like to?
Yep.
I'm not sure. You probably know what subsection it qualifies. I don't know what it's about.
We don't,
They don't.
just because I don't know what it's about. So
Exactly.
I guess we'll just do them all.
I guess you could.
I don't know where our cheat sheet.
Yeah, I forgot to print on the new one for you also. So A is hiring. I'm just doing this so you can tell me which one to put it under. So B is hiring, C is reputation, A is the dismissal, promotion, or compensation.
Budget? Just preliminary
On
discussion?
the personnel piece
Yeah,
of it, so
yeah.
that would be compensation, so
Okay.
A.
Okay.
A.
All right, I make a motion to go into non-public session under New Hampshire RSA 91-A:3, 2A.
I'll second. All those in favor, roll call vote?
Commissioner McGee?
Aye.
Commissioner McCarthy?
Yes.
Thank you.
Okay.
12:08.
Adjourn.
Do you want to go in here? Bonnie, you. I love this.
So
Thank you.
They have that to vote on.
Oh, great.
Sign,
Okay, I'll bring it, yep. Thank you.
It's 12:50.
Make a motion to come out of non-public and seal the minutes?
I'll second. All those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
What is it, 150?
12:50.
1250.
Where's the time?
I'm lost without my glasses today.
Where does the time go here?
Okay, what do we have next?
We need to make a motion to accept the
Yes,
M46.
yep.
I'll make a motion to accept the M46 proposed budget and estimate of revenue.
Are you saying MS-46?
MS46, yes. For the period beginning January 1st, 2023 to December 31st, 2023.
I'll second. All those in favor, say aye.
Aye. You need to sign it.
Thank
I need to sign it.
You,
We also, I think, we need to sign it.
I want to sign both things, so I'll get over it.
We'll sign both places.
Well, I guess you're supposed to print there, but I just did.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
I'll get over it. Okay. Okay, so we have,
Thank you.
use of the county facilities policy and application approval.
I looked at that and I didn't see a problem with it. I thought it looked.
Yeah, I think we've gone over it
Oh, it
several
looked good,
times.
right?
Yep.
Motion to approve as written.
Oh, great.
Kind of the,
I just have one question. Did this go to Tom for him to take a look at, to see if there's anything in there that,
No, I didn't send it to him, but when I drafted it months ago, I had sent it off to Primex.
Okay.
To look at it, and then that's when they sent their, just be careful
Yep.
that you get their insurance policy
Okay.
information, but that was their only
that's it.
suggestion.
okay,
So,
then I will second. Did you make a
I made a
motion?
motion to approve, yes.
Okay.
great,
I'll second. All those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
thank you. We've had a lot of new interest in the building since you've moved over here for your meetings,
Yep.
so. And all right, I'll get that updated with the signature lines and everything.
Okay. And then the other one was,
The outside agencies,
okay, and that's this one, right?
yes, yep. So that's the same application that we've used previously, I think it's right here, check it.
Thank you.
I'll just update it with the new dates on it. So the way it goes now, the county tries to stay within 2% of the general budget for how much they'll appropriate to the outside agencies. So I just want to make sure you are still okay with that part of the policy, if you needed any changes to the policy.
Do you want to do this next week so you can read this over?
Yes.
Because you haven't seen it before?
No. Yeah,
Okay,
I
all
prefer
right,
to
if
do
you have
that.
any questions,
Yep.
let me know. We try to get it out so that folks have a month to apply, and then we can have all that already in hand before you start your budget season.
Okay.
So, okay, great.
Line item transfer, we've already done. Commissioner comments or reports? You have anything that you would like to?
I do not.
Okay. Then we will. Is there anything else, Melissa? We have no more non-public?
I have a non-public with you.
Okay.
Are we still okay to do that?
Yep.
Okay, so I think that would be under C,
Okay,
and then it would be quick.
okay.
Okay, make a motion to go into non-public session under New Hampshire RSA 91-8.32C.
Second, all those in favor, roll call vote.
Commissioner McKee?
Aye.
Commissioner McCarthy?
Aye.
Thank you.
12:55.
Sorry, we could have just stayed in there, I didn't realize we
Yeah.
It's 1:20.
Motion to come out of non-public and seal the minutes.
I'll second. All those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Okay. And it is, I think we're going to go into recess until call of the chair for the next meeting, and it is
1:20.
1:20.
Madam Chair, will you be attending the Lands Committee tomorrow? Is that why?
No,
you're
I will
recessing?
not.
Okay, just one. Thank you.
You're welcome.
1:20.
Okay.